In this video, we're going to be going over settings that you may not be using and you also may not be aware of. Because when it comes down to it, there's a lot of settings in Fortnite and really in any game that will make your life not only easier, but actually way more enjoyable. Now, this first page we're not going to worry about so much. This is more personal preference and depending on whether you're on console or PC and whether your PC is able to handle certain settings or not. So let's go ahead and go over to the second page. Now, this is the most important page out of all of your settings. Well, maybe we shouldn't say most important. Your sensitivities and other things are very important too. But this page here is going to have a lot of things that you may not know about. Our first big one on this list is sprint by default. I have this on. So what that means is that I am never walking. I'm always running. There's no reason to walk in Fortnite. If I really want to walk, I could just crouch and then crouch up. But whenever I'm standing, I'm full running the whole time. So this setting here should be on. And if you're playing on controller, you can unbind that. I think it's L3 if you're playing on PS. And then you won't have to worry about that bind. You can switch it to something else. Maybe you're edit. Now, some of the ones you never want to have on is sprint cancels reloading, auto open doors. Trust me, you don't want auto open doors. That's just going to mess you up. You're going to run right into somebody and they're going to pump you in the face. Auto pick up weapons, never. You don't want to be picking up every single weapon you go over. Now, this is a new setting here, preferred item slots. Now, that may be good for some people, you know, like if you always want your shotgun here in the first slot and you always want your AR in the third slot, then you can customize these to where they automatically go there when you pick them up. But I've seen some flaws with this and I've decided that I prefer to just swap them myself so that I don't have any confusion. So that's totally up to you, and if you want to turn it on and you can assign every single gun to its own slot, but personally, I'm keeping it off. But as for the one right under it, auto sort consumables to the right. This one is a lifesaver. So let's say you don't have this on. You go to pick up this shield, then pick up this gun. The gun's going to go in your second slot, which is not good for me because I want that gun to go in my first slot and I never want that shield to be on the left. But once you turn on, game changer. I pick up this shield all the way to the right. Pick up this one all the way to the right. Then I pick up the gun always to the front. So auto sort consumables is a must on. Now let's move down the list to disable pre-edit option. This one's a big one for me because it means the difference between me winning a fight or losing a fight, all based off me having a mistake that I never meant to do. So let's say you're running around fighting and you've accidentally hit this pre-edit. So now I'm running around like this, putting partial walls. Like this is gonna get me killed all day. And then it puts you in a panic because you kind of don't know what to do. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And a big one I used to do is have my ramps turn sideways or backwards, and they had really messed me up. So if you've had this happen and it's got you killed in fights, definitely come down here, disable pre-edit option, turn it on. Now, confirm edit on release is another personal preference. I turned mine on about 3 months ago, but I can see uses with it and also without it, so it's really up to you. But one positive out of it is I think you'll hit your edit a little bit faster because as soon as you let go, it's already editing for you. But when I had it off, what I like to do is I like to hold an edit like that and not confirm it, and then I may change it to another one. So for that, you may want to have it off. Now let's go ahead and come all the way down to tap to search and interact. I have this on, and this is one of them ones that changed my entire life. So what this is going to do is whenever I go up to search something, all I have to do is hit my U button one time. I don't have to hold it. I'm just going to tap and let it go on its own. Same thing with chest. And this is also going to be the same thing for whenever you're rezzing somebody or you're rebooting them from the van. You just go up there, press the button, and it's going to do it itself. So I suggest turning that on. It's going to change your life. Thank me later. Now, if we move on to the third page here, I don't have a lot changed, but I do have my HUD scale turned down to 80. What that's going to be is your icons down here on the right. It's going to be how big they are there, your mini map, your health, your shield. It's going to show how big that is. So let me show you. If I bring that up, let's just run it all the way just to see what it does. 125. Oh my God, that takes up such a big portion of the screen. Looks kind of cool, but definitely not what you want to be in a fight. So now let's go ahead and turn it down, let's say to 30, and you can barely even see it there on the right. I could see my health down there at the bottom, but it's so small. Like, this may be good if you're not worried about the map and everything. I mean, you got a full screen, your fighting should be really good, but your eyesight might hurt a little bit afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and turn mine back up to 80. That's kind of a sweet spot for me. It's not too big, not too small. I like it right there. Now, the rest of these here are all personal preference. You could turn off everything. If you don't want to see people spectating you, you don't want your reticle on your gun, you don't want to see your resources, that would be a mistake. If you don't want your backpack keys, your map, your elimination feed, if you don't want to see the people being eliminated, I mean, I think you want all these on, but if you did want them off, you have the option. Now, these ones here, latency debug stat and net debug stats. Now, this is going to be my ping meter up here on the top left, and it's also going to show packet loss and all of that. You could also turn on your FPS if that's something you're interested to see. Now, the next page is gyro controls. I'm on mouse, so I don't use that. The next one is my sense. That's all personal preference, whatever you feel is the best for you. Then we got controller options. Some of the stuff on here I have off, like my music I have all the way down because I don't want to hear a non-stop blaring music in the background. Dialogue I have off. My voice chat down to 75. This is all personal preference as well. Next is my binds. I have some of the most unique in the game. I use TFGH for movement, right alt for jump. I'm not going to go through them all, but I will scroll down if you want to pause the video and copy them. Here you go. Then we got my controller settings. Now, those are definitely some of the most unique in the game. I'm using right alt for jump. We're not going to go through them at all. Now, let's get to the last page. This is all just some things. If you want on, then go ahead. If you don't, then don't touch them. But, like, I turn off my noties because I don't want to be recording videos and getting friend requests and all that stuff to pop up in my video. We also have anonymous mode on. There is another big one in here that you definitely want to check. Can receive gifts. Make sure you turn that on because you never know. You might get a gift from me or from one of your friends, but I think that's standard to have off. So you may be wondering, why don't I ever get gifts? Well, that may be the reason why. Now, another one you might want to check is return request. You may have some refunds available. I got one. You may have up to 3. So let's say you bought a skin 6 months ago. You don't really like it, or maybe you regret buying it altogether. You can return that, get your V-Bucks back, then go buy you a new skin. Now, if you do that, make sure you use code JDubSlays. Now, I'm going to show y'all one last setting here before we wrap up the video, guys, and it's going to be on my binds. We're going to look for auto run. Auto run, I have to right shift. Now, whenever I'm running around or I'm gliding in off the bus, I hit that right shift. Now, my hands are completely off. I have them behind my head. I just keep running. I could grab onto my mouse and turn left or right, but my hand is not on the keyboard. And the same goes for if you're in a vehicle. You can drive around with your foot on the gas and just chill. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope it helped y'all. I hope y'all use some of them settings because some of them actually changed my life. But I hope y'all have a fantastic day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.